situation drew attention. Chinenye's father, Mazi Okafor, stepped out of the house. When he heard what his daughter said, something ancient and angry rose within him. He thundered, "Tufiakwa, may such a lie never rest on my roof. This man, the same man you called Errand boy, is my son-in-law to be. Do not insult the bridge that carried you across the river." His voice carried the weight of truth and the authority of a man who knew integrity. Chinenye shrank back startled. Before anyone could speak again, Chinenye's mother hurried out from the kitchen. "Enough!" she snapped at her husband. In a neighboring town, known for its early morning echoes of bargaining voices, lived Okechukwu, a respected wholesaler of foodstuffs. Okechukwu was known for fairness, humility, and a signature phrase he often repeated: "A man's true wealth is measured not by his pocket, but by the peace that follows his footsteps." He worked tirelessly, sending yams, beans, plantain, and palm oil to markets far and near. Yet his heart found rest only when he met Chinenye, a beautiful, brilliant young woman from a humble background. She had completed secondary school with dreams of becoming a nurse, but poverty folded those dreams like paper boats left on dry land. Their friendship blossomed quickly. Chinenye possessed a grace that made people pause, a soft-spoken intelligence, a radiant humility, and a smile that settled storms. Okechukwu admired her deeply. Soon, admiration ripened into love. Knowing her dreams had been trapped by circumstance, Okechukwu made a life-changing decision. "If education is your ladder to the future, let my hands hold it steady," he told her. He offered to sponsor her through nursing school. Chinenye's parents, overwhelmed, accepted with gratitude. Her mother would say, "Okechukwu, may your road never swallow your footsteps. You have done what even blood relatives cannot do." He sent foodstuff to her mother every month: bags of gari, beans, cakes of oil, buns of plantain, sometimes given even from what he needed for his business. The entire community knew that Chinenye belongs to Okechukwu. Their future is already written. Her best friend, Choma, often teased, "My dear, you are blessed. Some girls pray for loyalty, but loyalty came and sat at your doorstep." And truly, Okechukwu made sure she lacked nothing. School fees, provisions, textbooks, clothes, shoes, handbags, sanitary pads, and pocket money. But as Chinenye advanced to her second year, the winds shifted. What once was sweet became sour. She grew distant, cold, then dismissive. Okechukwu, loyal, patient, hopeful, continued to believe. As usual, he arrived at Chinenye's home one afternoon. He walked in with hope in one hand and sacrifice in the other. A large bunch of ripe plantains slung over his shoulder and a keg of groundnut oil secured in his grip. But destiny had other plans. Right inside the compound stood a tall, well-dressed man, kneeling with effortless confidence against a polished black cat. And beside him, laughing softly, was Chinenye. Their closeness was unmistakable. The conversation between them had no room for him. Okechukwu felt something inside him shift, like a glass cracking under sudden heat. Still, he approached quietly, hoping he was misreading the moment. The moment Chinenye saw him, she stiffened, her eyes widened briefly, then hardened into a mask of deference. The man beside her noticed and asked casually, "Chinenye, who is this man?" She swallowed, looked away, then answered in a cold tone, "Oh, him? He's just an errand boy who helps my mother bring foodstuff from the market." The words landed like stones thrown into still water. And before Okechukwu could steady himself, the plantains slipped from his arm and the oil fell heavily on the ground. It wasn't just shock, it was heartbreak. Standing naked before strangers, he whispered softly, "Errand boy." His voice trembled like a leaf caught in a reluctant breeze. The commotion drew attention. Chinenye's father, Mazi Okafor, stepped out of the house. When he heard what his daughter said, something ancient and angry rose within him. He thundered, "Tufiakwa, may such a lie never rest on my roof. This man, the same man you called Errand boy, is my son-in-law to be. Do not insult the bridge that carried you across the river." His voice carried the weight of truth and the authority of a man who knew integrity. Chinenye shrank back startled. Before anyone could speak again, Chinenye's mother hurried out from the kitchen. "Enough!" she snapped at her husband. "Why must you embarrass us like this?" She walked straight to Chinenye and whispered loudly enough for all to hear, "My daughter, don't be foolish. Do you want to end up like me? Married to a poor man who struggled all his life. Look at this one." She gestured at the man with the car. "He is wealthy. He can take care of you. He can pay Okechukwu 10 times what he spent on you. Don't throw away your chance." Her eyes glistened with greed, thinly veiled as motherly advice. The stranger smirked, reached into his pocket, and pulled out a thick bundle of cash. Without hesitation, he handed it to Chinenye's mother. She received it with hands that trembled in excitement. Mazi Okafor let out a deep, bitter laugh. "You can never change, woman. Your heart is an open market. Anyone with money can buy a portion of it." He turned to his daughter, his voice calmer but laced with sorrow. "Chinenye, do not repay goodness with purity. Where was this man, this stranger, when Okechukwu sacrificed everything for you? Where was he when your school fees were unpaid? Who fed this household during your mother's sickness? Who believed in your future when even you doubted it?" Okechukwu turned slowly to Chinenye. His eyes were angry, wounded in a way only betrayer can. His voice was low, controlled, yet full of aching truth. "Chinenye, after everything I did for you, every sacrifice, every night I stayed awake, planning your future, this is how you choose to repay me after many years of waiting for you." But Chinenye only scoffed and replied with chilling arrogance. "And what exactly did you do for me, Okechukwu? Do you think buying small foodstuff and paying school fees means you own me? Ungrateful." Her words fell like stones, deliberately aimed at a bruised heart. Okechukwu staggered emotionally, like a man struck by a blow no one else could see. Mazi Okafor stepped forward, anger sharpening his voice. "May the gods of our land forbid this. Chinenye, don't let your mother's greed poison your soul. This man stood by you when you had nothing. He believed in you when this world turned its back. Do not repay good with evil." But before the weight of his words could settle, Chinenye's mother snapped like dry firewood catching flame. She jabbed a finger at her husband. "Keep quiet. What do you know about choosing a better life? Did you not drag me into poverty? Leave my daughter alone. You are forever jealous of progress." Mazi Okafor's shoulders slumped with the frustration of a man fighting two battles, one against injustice and the other against the woman he once loved. At that moment, Choma, Chinenye's closest friend, entered the compound and froze. Her eyes scanned the scattered plantains, the polished car, Okechukwu's trembling hands, and the stranger standing arrogantly beside Chinenye. Mazi Okafor called her urgently. "Chioma, please talk to your friend. She is about to make a mistake that will follow her to the rest of her life." Chioma, confused and breathless, looked from one face to another. "Chinenye, what is happening? Why are you treating Okechukwu like this? After all he did for you? This isn't the girl I know." But before she could finish, Chinenye raised her hand sharply. Her eyes were cold, her voice icy. Enough, Chioma. If you love Okechukwu so much, then you should marry him. As for me, I have made my choice. The words struck Chioma like thunder. Even the wealthy stranger blinked in surprise. Okechukwu closed his eyes briefly, as though absorbing a pain too deep for words. The stranger, still kneeling on the polished black car, tilted his head, looked at Okechukwu and chuckled softly. He said, "Brother, I warned you. Have you seen it with your own eyes now?" A wave of confusion rippled through everyone. Chinenye trembled. "Brother?" Her mother blinked rapidly. Even Mazi Okafor leaned forward bewildered. Okechukwu inhaled deeply, then faced the entire family with a calmness that carried both royalty and heartbreak. His voice was steady, resonant, and carried the authority of truth long restrained. "Let me clear your doubts. You deserve to know who stands before you." He gestured toward the stranger. "This man you admire, this rich suitor you celebrate, he is my younger brother, Chinonso Nwabweze." A gasp escaped several mouths at once. Chinenye staggered backward slightly, as though the ground beneath her feet had shifted. Okechukwu stepped closer, his voice firm yet dignified. "My name is Okechukwu Nwabweze, a businessman based in Lagos. What you saw as poverty was humility. What you mistook for struggle was discretion. That car," he pointed, "is one among many." He continued, eyes fixed on Chinenye. "I disguise myself not to deceive you, but to find true love, not a woman who loves my wealth. I wanted to know whether your love rested on my character or on the convenience of my capacity, or would choose a richer future if it appeared." His voice softened, heavy with regret. "Today you answered that question without hesitation." Chinenye's hands trembled as she pleaded for forgiveness. Okechukwu turned respectfully to Mazi Okafor and bowed slightly. "Thank you, Papa. You stood for truth even when your own wife stood against it. May your days be lengthened for choosing righteousness over convenience." Mazi Okafor swallowed deeply. Humbled and honored, Okechukwu turned to Chinenye's mother, his tone sharpened like a blade forged in disappointment. "As for you, Mama, you dine in poverty out of greed and wickedness. Yet, you push your daughter toward the same pit. You sold your conscience for money." He stretched his hand toward her. "Give me the cash," he handed you. Okechukwu placed the money firmly into Mazi Okafor's hands. "This belongs in the hands of the righteous, not the desperate." Chinenye fell to her knees, sobbing. "Okechukwu, please, forgive me. I don't know. I made a mistake. Please don't leave me." Her mother joined her, crying and pleading. Their voices sounded like echoes of regret arriving too late. Okechukwu looked at her with sorrow, not hatred. "Chinenye, if a richer man had come tomorrow, you would have betrayed me again. You called me an errand boy, yet I wanted to make you a queen." Okechukwu paused and turned towards Chioma, who witnessed betrayal unclothed. Gratitude trembled, and love weighed against money and found wanting. Okechukwu spoke softly. "Chioma, you saw everything today. You saw my heart tested and my patience mocked. If love still means loyalty to you, will you marry me?" A gasp rippled through the compound. Chioma's breath caught. She answered without hesitation, "Yes, Okechukwu, I will marry you." 2 weeks later, Okechukwu returned in full honor with his kinsmen, elders of wisdom and dignity, bearing kola nuts, palm wine, and the language of tradition. The marital rites were conducted with solemn joy. Chioma was formally received as a reward of discernment. Their home was built not on wealth alone, but on mutual honor and shared vision. Meanwhile, Chinenye's world narrowed. Education, once a gift sustained by sacrifice, slipped through her fingers like water because gratitude had no vessel to stay in. She became the laughingstock of the villagers. Is that not the girl who traded loyalty for vanity? The one who called her benefactor an errand boy? Laughter followed. Some spoke in parables. The chick that mocks the hen forgets that the hawk is watching. When a river forgets its source, it dries in silence. Chinenye walked with the weight of public memory pressing upon her shoulders. Her pride, now a garment too heavy to wear. She understood that the village did not punish her. Her choices did. Wealth may fade, beauty may age, but character is immortal. Thanks for watching.